Hello. Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, depending where you're from. We have Jessica Jones here, the Cryptid Huntress. How you
Hello,
doing?
world.
Hello,
Hey,
world.
hello, world.
I don't have
How are y'all today?
I don't have no fancy intro. I should get one, right?
You should. I can help you make one, man. I made one for my show.
I would
It's
like.
it's
I don't know if
glitchy.
I know how to like put it on. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I
but
can
you
help
always
you.
get like
It's
music
easy.
playing in your earbuds afterwards and stuff. So, like, I'd be
Well,
the guy.
yeah.
Because like I don't know how to fix it. You know what I mean? If something goes left, like I don't know how to fix
Well, I just stumble around until it fixes itself. Usually,
it.
that's what I do. There's no
so
fixing stuff. It fixes itself.
so I had a game plan and I can't remember what it was at this point. But I know everybody knows, right? You were here in Montauk. You came to Long Island, and like you've been interviewing everybody. Like that's what you do, right?
I have.
You've been like grabbing everyone and like getting their take on it and like doing all this work. And I'm like,
We got to
I'm
record, right?
I'm, but I'm like, you haven't really spoke about it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I haven't heard much out of you, because you're so.
Okay.
So let's just start with what were you expecting, and then like, I'm always curious because everyone thinks it's the city. So like, what were you expecting, and then like, what was your take on it when you got here?
Okay, and you're saying like, so what in your mind? I already know what's in your mind because you're thinking I'm like this country girl. I'm like the Beverly Hillbillies coming to New York
A
City,
little bit,
right?
a little bit here, a little bit. Right. I'm thinking the other. Right. I'm kind of judging the
It's like the
opposite way.
Beverly Hillbillies. I got my, yeah. You're waiting for me to bring my tater logs and chicken fingers up
Tater
there. I
log,
know.
chicken
So,
fingers.
yeah,
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
man. No, I'm kidding. I know. We're joking. We're joking. I know, but no, when I hear of Long Island, okay, like I have friends from Long Island. Before I met you, I knew, I got several friends from Long Island that were down here in Georgia, and they live like, I mean, it's like downtown. I'm thinking like Manhattan, okay, I'm thinking of like downtown New York, New York, right? I wasn't. It didn't like process so much, I guess, and I think a lot of people, even in your audience, people that watch your shows, and when you've been on my show, they're like, Long Island, how can there be any Bigfoot in Long Island? Like Long Island, because we're thinking it's like a city, right?
Hmm.
Very like urban or whatever. And
Yeah.
and so I was pleasantly surprised to see how wooded it is. I mean, it's beautiful countryside with lots of woods, lots of vegetation. Yeah, there's downtown. Like I flew into LaGuardia, okay,
Oh yeah,
and
that's so far away from us. Though.
yeah, so I was in LaGuardia, and so Brian and I got a rental car and drove up to. I mean, it's in the Hamptons where we were. It's like where all the rich people go out and do their vacation and stuff, right?
Pretty much.
So
Yeah. Pretty much.
yeah, lots
Yeah.
of beautiful, huge like mansions and stuff. I mean, deer everywhere. I mean, with all of that wildlife up there, there's got to be Bigfoots up there.
Well,
Got to be.
there's no predator. There's no bear. There's no coyote. There's nothing. There's no big cats. So the deer are the biggest thing out here. So it's like a cryptid paradise. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
but
it
yeah,
was perfect. I loved it. I thought it was amazing, and the energy up there is really to me. It was pretty unique. Of course, we were up there on the weekend of that anniversary of the 20-year biorhythm portal opening up, like that opening of that portal.
yeah.
And so I think the energies were a little up. Like I guess you could say the energies were up, and we were there with a very interesting group of people who were all very psychic
Yeah.
and have all been part of potentially some black programs, like black government programs, like the Montauk Project and Secret Space Program and things like that. So it was a very unique experience to say the least.
Yeah.
So but it was beautiful. I was very impressed with the landscape up there. It's not what people think when if you've never been to like Long Island.
Yeah.
Um, it's not what you think. I mean, it is. I was not expecting it. That's all.
Now,
So,
mind you, it does start like you started in LaGuardia, right? So like that is
mhm.
the city. That's Manhattan. You fly in right next to the New York City skyline, and then so like that's where I was like interested because you made your way from there to the most. eastern point you can get to on Long Island. So you literally work your way out of that like setting because you go through like either Queens or Brooklyn, which is like
Mhm.
still on Long Island, but it's like they consider themselves separate. Then there's Nassau, which is built up a little bit, right? Really congested. And then you get to Suffolk, which is where I live, and it's totally different from the rest. It's just completely different. And
Yeah.
the more and more and more you go out, it just starts to become like, once you hit the Pine Barren area and like the wine region and stuff, it's like that's where it becomes like, very rural, I guess, to an extent.
Yeah.
It's still overpopulated. You know what I mean? There's still too many people everywhere, but they don't go in the woods, which is the best part.
Yeah.
Like
Save the
bougie,
woods for the bigfoots, y'all. Just kidding.
too bougie.
It was a little bougie. What did I tell Brian yesterday? He made a post about, during the wintertime, like and I'm talking about Brian Minnick, okay, with Montauk is Strange. He made a post, or I don't know where we were all talking yesterday on some post somewhere, and he said something about the firewood and the coffees, and I was like, I can smell the pumpkin spice lattes from here. It just seems like there's a lot of pumpkin spice lattes going on up there.
Yeah.
Hey, that's one of my favorite fall delicacies, by the way. So
Is
I
it?
feel it. I'm one of them. Yes,
Is
absolutely. I
that
love
a
pumpkin
delicacy?
spice.
It's a delicacy.
I call it that. Yes.
Well, I have.
A good one. What are
I
you
have.
drinking?
They're probably gonna take a whole thing.
Oh, I'm jealous, man. That
I'm gonna.
7-Eleven up there was so good. All that mystery meat that we were eating. I don't know.
I think
Like
I gave
literally
my.
those
I
that
gave mine
tequila,
away. Yeah,
dude.
taco.
I
Taco.
had it was supposed to be chicken, but it was like chunks of white
Yeah,
tofu. I don't know what
yeah. It
it
was
was not chicken.
no
It
tornadoes. They're
like it.
called. They're like
Torn-
it's like tornado, but like twisted up. Yeah, it's a taquito, but it's like they call them tornado. And there's the one I got.
tornado,
I got
tomato,
two of them,
tomato.
I think, and it was so spicy. And I don't know who I took one bite. I don't know who I handed it to, but I looked back like 2 seconds later, and he was crumpling the bag, and like I was like, "Well, you ate that?" And he was like, "Yeah, they were really good." He did. The spice didn't phase. I think it was Brian, saying.
It was Michael, I think. Was it
Was it?
Michael or was it Jonathan? Because I was with
Maybe it
you.
was Jonathan.
I was there.
It was one of
Yeah.
them. I
Could have
think
been me. I don't
we
know.
were at Lake Montauk. I think maybe.
Yeah, I was with you guys.
What? Yeah,
I was,
yeah, you
I
were
was,
there. Yeah, yeah. I
I
went in
was
the
there.
water. They
I got
were
the
like,
receipts.
yeah.
Just
I
kidding.
think I baited myself that day because there was some kind of lore about like a lake monster. So I wanted to
Yes.
see. So I got in the water.
You put your toes in. I know. Well, the story goes that anyone who
to
was
be a
part of the
monster.
Montauk
Right.
project, if they put one foot in that water, the monster, they actually have a creature that lives in that lake,
Yeah.
and it will come and pull you under the water and kill you
Yeah.
if you're part of that project. So you apparently were not part of that project. I was there. You were the guinea pig.
Yeah, I was not part of the project or any program. Like, as far as I know, I have no memory of that. Right. So like, I wasn't concerned like at all.
I would have jumped on a dinghy to try to come save you. Had that pulled you under? I would have taken a life vest for you. No, I'm kidding. I mean, there's no record of anybody dying there of that. I don't think, but I don't know.
There's no records of anything like that, right?
There's no records of anything.
If it was
That's
involved,
right.
if it's involving those types of people, there wouldn't be records anyway. So
Yeah,
that's the easy part of what they do. Yeah. So you've seen a lot of the, you've seen most of it, really. I think you've seen most of it, but there's so much to do and so much to explore. And would you say it's safe to say like that it's pulling you back still, like I feel like it's always pulling me. Like I've always like constantly, like it always wants me back. And as I don't know how to explain it. And I hear that from a lot of people. Yeah, like I always like, why do people flock there? I don't like. There's nothing magical about it. Why do people flock there to dump their money into such a tiny town at the edge of Long Island? Like there's a million places along the way that are identical.
Because it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful,
But
and
I'm just saying, there's a million towns just like it that don't do it, that don't get that way. There's not hotels
yeah.
all over the place and people flocking there. Like
Well, see,
it takes.
that's why, because there's no hotels.
Well,
Seriously.
what I'm saying is, there's something that like draws you into that place. I think.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about like you think there's like an energy that's like hypnotizing people to come there.
Maybe it's
It could
possible.
be. I mean, I could get on board with that. Hey, Brian, we were just talking about you. Your ears are burning.
Yeah. And plus,
Yes.
I text him. So.
Pumpkin spice lattes. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So Brian was there with us, and Danielle. Um, we had a great time there, roaming around the area of Camp Hero together. Hey, Jane. Yeah. So that was definitely a trip of a lifetime. I mean, I had a great time from the beginning to the end, and honestly, I didn't know what to expect, Mike. And it's not just about like the land and everything, but
Yeah.
we were with a group of people that,
Sure.
first of all, I had never met most of these people, anybody before, except, well, I knew James.
Even
Reed.
when I met you, like you were like, "Oh, it's good to meet you," and I was like,
I know.
like the record stopped, and I was like, wait, I've never met you before. Like it
I
just
know.
it
It's all this
blows my
technology.
mind because we do so much like interacting with people now, like face to face, that like it feels like you've met people, right? Like and
Yeah.
I remember a point where I was like against all this video stuff and like I would do like everything against it, like to like still remain like in contact with in person. And like I remember when I used to rebel against it, and like now I've fell somehow into the crack where I'm comfortable,
Yeah.
where it's normal.
Oh yeah, it's all this technology. It really enables us to feel like we know we do know each other, um, but it's really different getting to meet people in person, because you get like the full package when people are with you and you're getting to hang out and be in each other's energies, and it's a whole different ball game. Getting to connect with people that way, it was fantastic. But I knew that it could be it was gonna I knew it was gonna be an interesting trip, because we're gonna have a lot of people with us that were part of that Montauk project and stuff, and I was a little worried about that.
Me too.
um,
Yeah.
because I didn't know. I knew there's a lot of trauma involved and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and I was worried. I was like, this may not be a very fun trip.
Yeah.
Okay.
It had a lot of variables to it that could have went a lot of different ways, and I'd say probably not once did it go in any negative direction. I don't think once with anybody on any level did it go in a bad way. Like everybody was cool about everything. Like
Yeah.
there was, for so many people to just get dropped in one spot and just live together for a few days. Like it was like, it was like the real world, but on a mass scale.
Yeah. Big Brother or something with no
Real
cameras.
world, real
Like no
world,
cameras.
space
Yeah.
program, Bigfoot.
I know, it was like it was people from every aspect of like
Yeah.
paranormal stuff. I mean, we had Dark Hour Paranormal there. We had Michael Roser with us. You and I are the Bigfoot folks over here, and we're over there. And Brian, of course, we had Montauk Strange there, and Danielle, and
This mic
yeah.
works nonstop. I guess.
There's a lot of mics out here too, by the way. Goodness gracious, there's a lot of y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a popular name. Like
it was a popular name that year.
It was like, because when I was in school, like we would have like 5 mics in the same classroom, and it was just like we had to get different names. Like there was like a few mics, and there was like Mike, Mikey, Michael, and then like sometimes you had to just like there would be 4 or more, so you couldn't like do Mike, Mikey, Michael, and it would be like you had to use your last initials. And like
you're using like middle name initials at this point. Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I grew up with a sister named Jennifer, and so Jessica and Jennifer. Let me tell you, I've been called Jennifer my entire life. Yes, I have, and she's been called Jessica. But those are like the 2 most popular names in the time period that we were born in. And yeah, it didn't help. Like the Allman Brothers band had a song named after Jessica, and so I mean, everybody named their kid Jessica. pretty
Yeah.
much the girls, usually. So yeah, so I got it too.
Tennessee.
Tennessee. I was just up in Tennessee. I did a field investigation up there, Blue
Are you
Crossroads,
from Tennessee? Because you're the only
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. You never heard that little cheesy
Oh my
pickup
God.
line?
I'm sure you have used that several times. I would not be surprised, Mike.
No, no, I'm surprisingly shy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, Tennessee is awesome. There's so much to do up there. So many cryptids. I mean, it's one of the most highly strange places. Yeah, Montauk is strange, but also Tennessee is strange as well.
Everything's
They've got
strange in its own way, right?
Oh, thank you, Brian. Yes, everything's strange. I mean, and it's really I always say it's really who you take with you and who you go with. That makes it more strange, but that sounds kind of weird, but it's true.
That's all good, Brian. Brian, I'll hit you up later. I might go drop the tent out there at some point. I gotta see what the monies look like, but if you want to hop in, I'll give you a shout. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Looks like everybody has a Michael.
Yes.
Yeah, be careful.
Yeah, lots of Michaels.
Driving on this island is something else.
Okay, so that was one of the things that you definitely were warning us about was driving and how bad the traffic was. We were able to get out of the airport and like get to where we were going at a pretty decent hour on what was that, a Thursday, I guess. So we made it up. It wasn't until the traffic didn't get bad until we got to like the Hamptons.
Yeah,
I guess.
You got lucky.
Boy, it's jam packed, bumper to bumper. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's one lane, and that's what I mean. There's so many people flooding out there, and it's like, why? You know what I mean? Why are all these people?
Because it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's not because they're advertising the Stranger Things up there or anything.
Not at all, right? Not at all. It's the opposite.
You think they would?
It's the opposite. Well, that's how everything is here. It's like people walk around this stuff and have no idea what's going on a regular basis. I got 3 messages. They must have played that thing on the paranormal caught on camera. They must have played it last night on TV because bing, 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 bing. Local messages start coming through, and it's like, like, and I'm like, yeah. Like, and everybody wants to know where. I live here. Where was it? And I'm like, pretty close, pretty damn close. One person literally lives it's like a minute away, and I was like, I wanted to be like, shit, it's kind of like your backyard, for the most part.
Yeah. Oh, well, okay. So when we were in New York, you actually caught a Bigfoot on video while we were there.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah. It gets so, I don't want to take it for granted, but it does get so normal for me.
It was a big deal.
Yeah, it was it was clear. That's why I don't mind about it too much, is the face. When you look up and then you look down, and then after you watch the video real quick, and or you take that picture. I take pictures if there's something I want to see after, I take pictures while I film. And then I'll go after I'm done and I'll look at the picture and see how good it came out. Because sometimes I think it's amazing, and afterwards I'm like, what the hell happened here? I'm like, what happened? And so it came out good. So that was a plus. And then the fact that I was able to call both guys over, because it was like, trying to just stay still and hope I missed it, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I was drawn right to it though, so that's where I'm torn. I like Michael's like, oh, he's got eagle eyes, like he always says, like, we could be all looking in the same brush, and you're just like, did you see that? And then I zoom in on it and show him, and he'll be like, how the hell? But I don't know if it's necessarily me doing it. I don't know. I think there's like it's almost like it's a help. It's a cheat sheet. Like, I'm not really doing anything. They're just connecting to me.
Yeah, it's almost like they're allowing you to see them. And not everybody has that luxury there. I think it's amazing. Not everybody's able to hone in on them too, because they sit still like a tree.
Yeah.
Okay. And and unless you know what to look for, you're going to look right past them. I mean, you could walk past one and think it's a tree.
step right
literally.
over them. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing. And that's why I tell people, tread lightly when you go through, tread respectfully. If you go off trail, just tread lightly, because you really don't know, you know. That's where I think a lot of this stuff comes in, these negative experiences, is because people are just walking around and they got their little ones just freeze framed, and you're walking in a beeline for it. And that's where the big, like, giant roar comes out of nowhere, stuff like that.
Hmm. Have you seen that video that lady took? She was hiking through the woods, and she's got her camera phone out and she's filming, and
A burrow.
it looks like a wasp nest or like
Yeah,
a
a
hornet's
big
nest or something.
burrow. Yeah,
Yeah, but it also looks like a baby Sasquatch, and it's
yeah.
just like holding on really tight. What is that? You said a
It
burrow?
could be a burrow. I mean, to me, it could be either, right? Like, we know what they do. We know they connect to, Um, could it be one just pretending to be a burrow, or a big nest, whatever you want to, however you perceive it? Possibly. I wasn't
Yeah.
there. That woman
She
swears that
freaked
it
out.
moved. It looked at her like, it didn't seem very hoaxy to me. Like, I think she was literally just walking through and looked up, and then I think she sensed that it was something more than what it was, and she just scared the shit out of her.
Yeah. I mean, I think that she intuitively knew that it was not just like a wasp nest or a bee or some whatever
Yeah.
that is, a burrow. It definitely looked like a little baby bear or a Sasquatch wrapped around the tree, holding the tree real tight. So, yeah, always look up too. I think looking up into the trees is
Yep.
important when you're out there doing research because a lot of times they're going to be up in the trees.
In my experience, I don't really I don't get met by a lot of the young ones and the females. What I perceived early on is that when humans walk into the forest, the females fall back and take the kids, and they go up, way out of our reach. Nothing we can. There's no way any human can do it. Like, we just can't do it, and they
Yeah.
know this. So it's like they just go up and wait it out. If they feel like staying in that, physical form, I suppose, right? I don't know
Hmm.
everything about everything, but yeah,
Yeah.
I do. I think you can get a good amount by looking up, and I always forget to look up. Always.
Yeah, no, I've been told by people that are in the know that a lot of Sasquatch are they call it arboreal. I think is how you say it, where they live in the trees or um they what do you call it? They move through the trees basically. So yeah, that's where they travel. They travel through the trees. It
Well,
depends on
in
how big the
in
trees
one
are, I guess.
in one sense or another, they do. Yeah, and that's what I try to explain to people. That's what these uh, bends are, and these snaps are. It's not, they didn't snap it up that high because it was a giant Sasquatch and he was raw, like, I'm big, so this is where I broke this tree. No, it's all symmetrical. Like, it's snapped at whatever point it needs to be to reach the next one, to connect to it, right? And it's all by design. Mind you, I don't know how it is everywhere. I'm just saying, like, it looks exactly the same to me, but in the bends, and they keep it alive that way so that it free flows energy still. They keep it alive by snapping it instead of ripping it straight out of the ground and killing it. They keep it alive. They snap it and it stays together. They bend it. It's if they can bend it, they bend it. But some of them are so big that they have to break them.
Yeah.
And then they move through the trees, right? Or they move through the trees.
Yeah, they do.
Energy wise.
Okay, so you brought up a really good point with that, where they do the tree bends, and you said energy, right? Well, from studying portals and things like that, potentially, do you ever think that maybe when they bend the tree over like that, maybe they're creating a portal or they're making a
Yeah.
marker where a portal could be?
Yeah, well, it's yes. I mean, it's an energy purpose. Yeah, one way or another, sure. Sometimes they create like just a structure area, so they sit there and they charge up in it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's all connected into there, almost like an outlet. They plug into it and they sit there and they soak it up. Um, Other times it's for portals. Yeah, like, you'll see a couple of bends that go in like a circle, almost like, or sometimes it's in a row, going up to a certain point, and it's like they're like hot points. Um, it does go way deeper, and I try to just get the basic message out there. And I'm not saying I got all the answers. I'm just telling you exactly when it's something passed directly to me from them, I don't hesitate to say it because it's not opinion, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a cousin who lives not too far from where I live, and he had some Sasquatch on his property, and they disappeared for like 5 years. There was no sign whatsoever of these Bigfoots on his property anymore, and he was having like tree bends and breaks and tree and footprints and all sorts of sign all over his property. And he sent me a message this past week, and he sent me some pictures of some X's and a tree that had been not like just up, it's not just uprooted, it's like broken off at the very base
Yeah.
and turned sideways on top of another tree. So it's like a perpendicular X or like upright X kind of. It's not like this, it's more like this.
Yeah.
Like a cross kind of. And
Yeah.
I was like, dude, when are you home? Can I come over and look at that? You know?
Yeah.
I was like, let me know when, because he was like, look, they're back. It's a telltale sign they're back. And I think that was maybe their sign letting him know that they're back. Having something like that. Yeah, he has a very special connection with them. Actually, it's my cousin. If you guys watch my shows, if anybody in your audience has watched my shows or followed me from the beginning, my cousin is Jesse Duke. He's an artist, and he makes these gigantic Bigfoots out of muscadine vines, and makes the mat like the
really
faces and everything. He actually made the Bigfoot that's in front of the Expedition Bigfoot in Georgia. Yeah, he made that.
I gotta check that. I want one.
Yeah. Oh, he makes them for like all he gets commissioned by all these famous people to make those.
I'm not famous, but I want one.
I know. Well, I mean, you don't have to be famous. I'm just saying, like, but I'm just letting you know, like, people like it. He shipped some up to like Nashville, I think, to go out. I mean, these are like on people's yards and stuff. Like they're fancy, man. They're fancy Bigfoots.
That's sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mogi, I'm glad to see you, Mogi, on Monsters. It's good to see you, Russ. Yeah, everyone's been missing him. Yeah, there's a storm down in Florida where he's at. Hey, Don, right. How are you? So he's moving the boats and stuff. They're all moving boats and getting prepared. Anthony, what's happening, brother? But on a different note, I hope you're feeling better, bro. It's good to see you. I'm glad you stopped by. And everyone's been asking me about you, and I don't know, but I'm glad you're doing better. How's everyone? Living the dream or the nightmare?
A dream. It's a dream. Hey, what's up? What's up?
All right. So, that's amazing. Like, so does he do it for non-famous people?
Of course. He'll do it for anybody that's going to pay him, I guess. I don't know. Right. Yeah. I mean, these things are huge. They're life size. They're to scale. Yeah, actually, the first one that he ever made was
making me like a puck wedgie,
like a smaller one, like a quarter the size. Yes, for a quarter of the price. Yes. Oh my gosh. So the first one he made was his senior exhibition for, like, he was an art major in college, and I went to his I guess you call it an exhibition or whatever at the end when you're about to graduate. And his exhibition was about oh my god, this is becoming a show about my cousin Jesse. I'm gonna have to let him know that we did this today. But shout out to Jesse. His name is Holler Moon on Instagram, y'all. Go check him out. Holler Moon. See Holler. We're country down here, Mike.
I'm looking right now. Like
yeah, look up Holler Moon. Okay, so but he made a replica of Patty from the Patterson Gimlin film, and that was on his senior exhibit. Okay. And he also had sculpted a whole bunch of crop circle blown nodes, like those pieces of wheat or whatever, because he had visited some. Oh, by the way, he did this painting behind me too.
Oh, this guy's awesome.
And this is like, okay, so people probably wonder, like, why do I have hay bales behind me, right? Like, it's not just hay bales. If you look closely at this picture, he painted this by hand, and it has energy coming off of each of the hay bales. Okay, like energetic fields off of every single hay bale out there, every hay bale. And it is absolutely phenomenal when you see this up close. And also, I thought there was a UFO on the top, but it's actually a bird. But it has energy coming off of it too.
There's no way. Hang on, let me cover up some of the shit.
Yeah,
that is.
Oh yeah, he makes these things. He sculpts actual. And so he was working with who Who is he working with?
Wow.
I'm trying to think.
Yo, there's no way that shit looks real.
Yeah, well, he's done some work with some of these guys that do. Yeah, that's Patty. That was from his senior thing
This
right
looks
there.
so
Yeah,
chill about it. Like it's
that's
not
made out of muscadine vines.
This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I thought I wanted a wood carving of one, but I don't.
Yeah.
I want this.
So he actually, I think he was working with MK Davis. I'm pretty sure on getting some things right. Where he had really looked into those pictures of Patty, and like the original pictures of Patty, I guess, and they were super clear. Like what we've been shown to the public is like a bunch of blurry crap. Okay, compared to the actual original video, according to MK, from what I can remember, right? And so Jesse was looking at that and did a deep dive into studying these pictures and the video, and saw that he thinks that Patty had a braid in her hair, an actual braid.
Okay.
Okay, cool. And so that's what you're going to see in those sculptures that you just pulled up online, and also had a satchel around her shoulder, and potentially might have had something in it, maybe even a baby. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just a whole lot of stuff that he's been looking into.
Wow.
I'm going to bring him on my show soon, so you guys will see him. He said that he'd come on as soon as he got some of his work done. But he's an amazing artist. So if you guys get a chance, y'all check him out. Holler Moon over on Instagram. I'll put a post up today on my YouTube or my Instagram if you guys want to find him. Yeah, I'm all for supporting people who do Bigfoot art. Okay, anything to do with cryptids. Oh my gosh, this is across the room over here, but I had Christopher Creedy sent me some stuff. I got it in the mail yesterday, and he had like made me a Bigfoot ornament and a UFO ornament, and it was beaming up a cube, like a portal. So it's so cool that people are like watching our shows and listening to about our research and sending things in to like that correlate to like what the stuff that we've been experiencing. It just really is amazing, and it's just so humbling.
Yeah,
it really is. So I support people that do cryptid stuff. And listen, if you guys send me stuff, I will absolutely promote you on my shows and stuff. I'm not asking for stuff. I'm just saying, like, it's just so sweet of people to do that, you know.
Bigfoot, well, yeah, they carry purses all the time. You don't know?
Yeah, duh.
You know,
Chewbacca did, right? On Star Wars. I think they show us what's really going on Star Wars, but
I've heard reports of them having all sorts of shit on. You know, I've never seen the Bigfoot with them on, but I've seen other things that try to spice up their intimidation. Let's put it that way. They not a satchel.
Not a satchel, no, a man purse.
Hey,
no, Patty was a female. Patty's a woman.
Yeah.
So of course she's gonna have.
I don't want to dive into it without you, but you're here. But if you want to talk about what you remote viewed, it might kind of. It's hard. Okay. Like it's hard to hear, but if you guys want to hear it, let's put a 1 in the chat if you want to know what you remote viewed about Patty, and put a 2 if you just would rather.
You'd rather not. Well, it's sad, and I know. Well, listen, I see some of the people in the chat today. They were in the chat when I did it that day, and so I know, and it was super sad.
Some people were. I know there's some people here that, you know, I mean,
we can also give the option to people. Just you can go to my channel, and I mean, we can we can drop a link or something if you want to go watch it.
Yeah, we could do that too. Well, everyone wants to hear it now. It looks like.
Well, unfortunately, I'll just give a Cliff's Notes version of it. Okay, so what I'll go ahead and just say, I'm not going to get into detail or anything. You can go watch my show if you'd like. Yeah, and I can put a link. I'll drop a link in here while we're doing our show today here. But
I could probably do it.
What I saw was Patty running away from gunfire. And that is why she was able to be videoed. And they were actually there to do that. They knew that she was going to be flushed out, so to speak. Okay. And so, yeah, so that was it in a nutshell. Okay. And it did cause a little controversy, you know.
Well, of course
it caused a little controversy.
Of course, when you come with something like that too, like it affects people, right?
Yes. Like you don't want to think it.
Well, yeah, you have your set way of the way you've been perceiving it for so many years. Yeah, Betty Hills. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here we
So
go. That way of the waves and volumes up.
yeah, it was a sad story. And it was one of those blind targets that like it wasn't a good one. And so Barry and I decided when we decided we were ready to like reveal, because we waited for a little while too. We were ready to reveal that data. Uh, so I guess there are other people who had discussed this before, apparently, and it was kind of under the radar, because when people would bring this storyline up about what potentially had happened to Patty, uh, they would get attacked over it. Okay. And it's not something that people were ready to really talk about, because, like, she's the iconic Bigfoot, the iconic Sasquatch. Everybody has Bigfoot stickers on their car. Not everybody, but everybody I know. Okay. And it's like that view of her looking back at the camera and looking back at those men. Um, yeah, she was being shot at, according to my data.
It goes
Yeah.
pretty deep, which
Oh,
is,
there you go.
it's
Thank
very
you.
shitty, but it is what it is.
It sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
It is what
but
it is.
apparently there's photos and videos of like
It's
pools of blood and stuff, and a pile of skin and things like that. And
not the way you
so
want to hear
yeah,
because they show you this one part, right? And it's like, oh, Bigfoot
it's
is
like we saw
real and
Bigfoot.
Patty, celebrate Patty, right? But it's like, I think we should there should be a Patty Memorial Day almost, more so
Yes,
than like, yeah.
yes. Remember her as like a mother, and I also was picking up that she was protecting children.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah, she had
yeah,
a little pep in her step, but I mean, more or less, she kind of looked back like, bitch, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Can't shoot. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm just being it. I'm trying to
Well,
make
I
it.
think
Trying to make
yeah,
it
I
light
think
of it.
I think the story went that the Sasquatches were messing with the equipment out there.
Hmm.
And okay, this is hearsay. Okay, so I don't know this is for sure 100% advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, but the story was that the Sasquatches had been messing with the equipment of the loggers that were in the area. They had a logging company out there apparently, and so a group of hunters were called in from Canada to eradicate the problem, basically. And so yeah, that was that's how it goes. So
It's
I don't
not.
like thinking about it. It's really sad. But
I've heard a lot of these types of things occurring, and I hear about it
mhm,
behind the scenes, and that's where I leave it, right? Like a lot of times, and
yeah,
I commend you for diving into these things, no matter which way they go, because
yeah, because they
I,
go left
yeah.
sometimes.
So I mean, I
Yeah,
sometimes I take the easier road, and I just keep it to myself, and it sucks sometimes. Sometimes it sucks, but
well,
it,
Mike, when I first got into doing this, like talking publicly about Bigfoot, I just spoke my mind and told people like the things that I knew,
mhm.
and I did it. I tried to do it eloquently and diplomatically. Um, but I was told by other people that were like podcasters and stuff, they're like, you shouldn't talk about that. You shouldn't say those things. People are going to get mad at you.
Maybe.
Don't call them a Bigfoot. They're Sasquatch. Like, don't do this, don't do that. And I was like,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
going to do what I want to do. I'm
I
sorry,
mean, I don't
because
even
it's
like
not.
I don't like the term Bigfoot really, but I
Yeah.
still use it, and it's in
Well,
my name.
yeah.
Who
Well, the
cares?
thing about it is I just absolutely do whatever I feel like is okay with me, and if it sits right with my soul,
Yeah,
I do
there
it.
you go.
Okay, and I
Respect,
don't like people telling me what to
respect,
do. Okay,
respect.
and I think I try not to come across like abrasive or whatever, but um, it's just the way I am. And
You
if I
definitely
felt
got it.
inclined to tell people that Bigfoots are dangerous and they can eat people, I'm going to tell you, because I don't think that it's fair for people who are wanting to get out and take their children into the woods to go bigfooting. It's not fair to those families that are out there taking their kids that are going to get screamed at and terrified, and
Well,
these children will be scarred for the rest of their lives
sure.
when they
Here's
get
the
chased
thing.
out of the woods.
So here's the thing, right? Like it depends where you're at too, right? Like it's all situational, and that's why I don't knock anybody either. Like the ones that are here, you've seen this place now with your eyes,
Yeah,
and you see why they would be tolerant of people. You know what I mean? Like it's part of their life. Like they live amongst humans, like in close quarters,
yep,
close proximity. We just kind of stay out of each other's way, I suppose, right?
We try.
Except for the few of us. I'm not the
Except for me
lone.
and you.
I'm not the lone person on this island that does what I do. I'm the lone public person on this island that does what I do. Some of them were public, and it very quickly. It's not a fun thing to do. Is be a Long Island Bigfoot, advocate. It's not fun. Like it's it's not right. It's
Yeah.
just not.
Well,
Okay.
I know. Well, you've taken some arrows for sure, and I've seen it live on air sometimes. People are like, "There's no way. I don't buy it. There's no Long Island Bigfoots.
Yeah.
Explain yourself. Show me the receipts." you know. But you got the receipts, so that's the beautiful thing about it is that you got the receipts.
That's right. That's right.
Is that a Bigfoot behind you? You got a Bigfoot up in your window up there, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple up there. Well, Anthony gave me that. Like, I got so much stuff from different people. Some of the stuff I got myself. That one I like. Those are license plates. Yeah, there's so much crap up there. I could go for days. It's a work in progress. I don't know which way I want to go with it yet. But I need one of those big things, Jesse Duke, wherever you are.
Jesse, my cousin.
Ghost Dragon. Thank you, bro.
That's sweet. Ghost Dragons. Yeah.
Go ahead. Let me read this real quick. Hello and goodbye. Have a good one. Take care. Be safe out there sneaking out of the cave, maybe for a few days. So have a wonderful one. All right. Be safe out there, brother. Thank you so much. Let me try and catch up with you. Go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
I forgot what I was going to say. What was I talking about? The receipts?
Yeah.
Show me the receipts.
It was, I don't know if that. Yes, receipts. Baby.
That's funny. Receipts, baby. You do have the receipts, so you have some great footage of a lot of great stuff. And yeah, Jesse. What I was going to talk about too was Jesse. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
So the Bigfoot that he made. Okay, so the one that is in front of Expedition Bigfoot in Georgia, at Cherry Log, Georgia. That is, I think that's Inkadu. Okay, because he gives them all names, and that was Inkadu. It's like 9 to 10 feet tall. I think it's 10 feet tall. I mean, it's huge.
Yeah.
And he put solar lights in his eyes with a solar panel on its back. So at nighttime, it glows. Its eyes glow.
Come on.
And when people ride by, I swear they've got to be having wrecks and stuff. Like, be like, what the heck is that? Because it's this large hulking thing, and that's kind of what he does with. I don't know if he does it with all of them, but some of these are in people's front yards. Okay, they're down these long driveways, and they've got solar lights in their eyes. Imagine driving past that.
Well, I have this video on my channel. It's a short, and it's this thing, and they sell it. I don't know, at Home Depot or whatever. It's like a werewolf, right? But it's like it's like, I don't know, 12 feet tall or whatever, and like people put it on their lawn, and it costs like almost $250 or something like that.
It's worth every penny. Well, I'd get one.
It's so cool, but it's like this huge giant thing. But anyway, it's nothing compared to what we're talking about with his art, right? But regardless, I mean, like, it absolutely gets your attention. Like when you're just driving by and everyone's got Halloween shit on their lawn, and then you see this like this huge thing, it definitely gets your attention.
And it's got like the dogman legs and everything, like the backwards legs and whatever. It's
you've seen it? You know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely, I've seen it. I want one. Where am I going to put one of those though? I mean, I don't know. I could put one on my house year round because I'm the Cryptid Huntress. People be like, "Oh, that's that crazy Bigfoot girl."
Yep.
Yeah, I got an excuse.
Oh, we got to do a Dogman special too, for sure. I mean,
don't worry, it's coming.
It's coming.
Yes, I've got one in the works.
Evil laugh.
I love Dogman. Yes, I have. Those are some of my favorite shows. Are talking about Dogman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got some really, really cool people in the Dogman community that are going to be coming on my shows and stuff. So when I say shows, I got a bunch of shows.
I sat with Vic again yesterday as like a guest host.
Oh man, that's amazing.
He's so cool.
He is cool. I've never met Vic. I haven't met him yet, so I hope to get him on my show soon.
Yeah.
Maybe on a Dogman special. We'll see. Yeah.
Well, he's the go-to, right?
He's one of the go-tos. Yeah, for sure. He's a go-to for sure. Yeah.
I'm starting to like those guys on the West Coast too.
Oh yeah, Shane.
Shane and them. Yeah,
Yeah, Shane's cool. I've had Shane on my show. He's awesome. Yeah,
yeah.
I actually have
He
some. I
sat with
have a.
he sat with this guy who's my go-to. I
Oh
mean, I
hey,
love.
Sean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sean's one of the few people I know that has not a horror story. You know what I mean? When it comes
Yeah.
to that, and yeah, I just find it
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah. Well, I know the majority of Dogman stories that I've gotten from people are indifferent. They're not like they weren't being threatened too much, and it wasn't like pleasant either. So it just depends, really. I actually have a buddy who I talked to today, as a matter of fact, and he has a team that goes out and does. I'm just going to say dogman research, but it's not
Well,
really. It's kind of research, but we're not going to go there.
well,
I'll.
is it
Um,
is it deeper than that? Is that what you're getting at?
it's deeper than that. It's him, and he's former
All
military,
right,
and all
yeah, I
his
was
buddies
gonna
are
ask,
military.
are they a team that does like
They're one of those teams that'll come in and maybe eradicate things
eradicate?
that
Okay,
are problematic and stuff. So
what I was
yeah,
wondering.
yeah, I know it kind of sucks, but then again, these things are dangerous out
Sometimes
there.
it's necessary. I mean, I'm not gonna
Mhm.
advocate for it one way or another. You know what I mean? I won't even hunt a deer though. But again, I hunted people, so like if you know
Well,
that's, that's why I don't do it anymore.
yeah,
It's just a turn off for me.
yeah,
When I was in, it was like you're somewhat brainwashed when you're in the moment, but then when you step back and finally take a breath, you're like, what the hell was I doing? You know?
yeah. Well, you're doing your job.
Correct.
That
Yeah.
was your job at
Oh,
the time.
it's survival.
Yeah.
Yeah, survival.
Yes.
Well, none of us
Wow.
could be in that situation, but that's a whole
That's
nother story.
awesome. I
Yes,
need to get Sean on my show sometime too. We need to talk with Sean.
He did one with. Yeah, you should. You should.
Yeah.
I've known him forever, like forever, since I guess day one, right, Sean?
He's an A1 day one.
Yeah. Well, I was supposed
Visiting
to
friends.
travel
That's
out there.
awesome.
I wanted to travel out to the West Coast. It just didn't work out because of my reasons, not on their end. Him and Jimbo were like, laying out the red carpet for me. I couldn't make it happen. But
Yeah. Yeah. I have not done any Bigfooting or cryptid research on the West Coast yet. Not yet. I'll make it out there. We got to go visit Brown Dwarf sometime.
I just want to see like the West Coast. There's so much, right? Redwood, a redwood is what I want to see. When I see Brown Dwarf and those redwoods, I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
like it's like, I just want to like feel its energy. You know what I mean? Like just be around them. Can you imagine what that forest is like? Like
Giant.
I can't
Yeah.
imagine.
I imagine. I mean, that's okay. I think that's actually where the Bigfoots are arboreal. Somebody put that in the comments a while ago. Arboreal, the pronunciation. So thank you. I hope I pronounced that right that time.
It's yeah. Well,
I'm just a country girl down here. I don't know how to pronounce nothing. Okay, just kidding.
It's all right.
Anything.
Arboretum is like a place you go to look at trees, right? Basically, land.
I don't know. I guess so.
Yeah.
That was you. Thank you, Blue. I appreciate you.
Redwoods are powerful. Insert maniacal left. It worked good last time. We were in sync last time. Love the redwoods. Damn it. I gotta see it. Double D.
Oh, thank you, Double D.
They adore me. They adore me when you're around, so I gotta get you around more often. I have hunted in a long time. I do have a hunting dog mix I raised from a pup. He's good at keeping varmints from around the place. Yeah, that's what this one does. He like kills himself to do it. Like if there's a possum up on the tree or up on the fence, like if it's on the fence, he will throw his body into that fence 100 times
like mine.
to get it to fall off. But they have
what? That's smart.
I know.
To fall off.
Yeah, to make it. Yeah, because it's nuts. But usually, what it does is it has such a good grip somehow, and usually they take their tail and wrap it around a tree somewhere because it's so long and like.
Oh, the possums.
Yeah, the possums. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the raccoons they'll either put up a fight or just run. But
oh my God, you sound like you have a lot of experience with those.
I mean, yeah, oh yeah. I shoot the one day I shot the laser pointer in the raccoon's eye because
Oh no.
it was ripping our shingles off, like trying to break in the house. We just heard it like, and like it's just up there like a little robber, like just like looked at me and like I was like, "What are you doing?" So like I threw like a like a bouncy ball at it, and like it wouldn't come down. So I'm like, "All right, I don't want to shoot it or nothing, I don't want to kill it." I'm like, maybe if I shine the laser, this laser is like you look at it a little bit,
I saw
you
it
go
when we were in
blind, right?
Montauk. Yeah.
So that was with dead batteries. You should see when it's charged up. So
Oh my.
anyway,
It's a strong one.
I was like, let me just put it in its eyes quick. Didn't move, so I did it more. It did not phase this thing at all. I'm starting to think raccoons are like some elite, like some elite,
Trash pandas.
some elite, yeah, something.
The elite trash panda.
It was like
company.
I don't know. The thing was like unreal.
The trash pandas.
Trash pandas.
They say that dogmen have raccoon hands. Have you heard that?
Well, I mean, raccoons have human hands, which is what bothers a lot of people about them. Yeah, like they're probably very similar to a raccoon, I'd imagine.
Yeah, they say they're like raccoon hands, like human hands, but raccoon.
Yeah,
raccoons.
it makes sense.
They got little claws on them. Yeah.
What people do is they look
claws.
for. Everybody always looks for an analogy, right? And that's where things kind of get hectic. Is when you're dealing with a lot of these things that are, unknown. And now we've come so far that there's so many stories and so many people out here talking about things that like, you could compare and like, oh yeah, I've experienced that. And like, you could kind of, there's so many things to reference now. But I remember in the beginning, I was just like I didn't know what to, how to explain some things.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really cool. I had a lot of questions for my buddy this morning when I was talking to him, who has actually had contact with dogmen, like literal contact. And I was asking him about the hands and the claws and all that. And he was giving me pretty solid information about the dogmen and stuff. And the hands, I mean, anytime I love hearing firsthand stories from people who have actually experienced this stuff.
Me too.
I mean, we could talk all day in circles about hearsay, about what people say and stuff, and that's cool. But I'm really into like boots on the ground kind of research where people are in the thick of it and they actually see it for themselves and they can give me solid information on it. And so he was giving me solid information. I'm going to be bringing him on the show soon. Cool. Okay. Cool. We're going to talk about all this kind of stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, well, my thing is like, and it's not to knock anybody. Like when it's not the person talking or the person up there with a guest, as a guest talking, or we don't know who it is or like where it came from. Like, I just look at that and I'm like, this is bullshit, and it's not. You know what I mean? Like, unless I know the person, like I usually just stay away from them because the people are just, to me, they're just pulling shit out of the air. Like, you know what I mean? Like I could sit here and tell you a story too as I go. Like just literally like make things up out of thin air or you know what I mean, right? Like,
yeah,
that's why I just don't like it. Like for me, and I get why people like it. Like I get it, but for me, it's no, it's just not.
Well, people like a good story. And so that's cool. And so and there's a category for everybody to do that, and different like channels and shows that people can watch and stuff like that. So everybody's different. So it's all about what you resonate with. Totally.
Karen, I agree. Totally. And, right. I can't relate. That's all. Like I get it, but like I have so much action and shit that maybe that's why I don't like to sit around and listen to stories, is because I can go experience one.
Well, that's why we're friends, Mike. Because I'm out there too. We're out here in the field doing stuff. Yeah. Oh, the Frogman. Okay, Donnie's down in Florida, if I'm not
Alabama.
Oh, is that Sandy Goats Rescue?
Yes.
Sandy Goats. Okay, yeah. I know Donnie. I don't know him personally, but I know of him, and so yeah, I don't know a whole lot about that Frogman down there, but I know. I mean, I've looked into like the Loveland Frogman. Okay, up in what is that, Ohio? I guess.
You could run up by Nigel. We could run up by Nigel.
Nigel,
he might know. It sounds reptilian to me, like, or at least
it does.
It would know. The way I kind of think of it is like all these like things kind of are connected, right? I think we're the
Yeah.
only ones that are on the outskirts. And there's a lot of people that see these things. Like now the dogman has become something that people are okay with talking about, right? Like it's just like, oh, in the beginning it was like I thought it was just gonna be like the flavor of the week. That's what I thought was coming.
Right.
I did. I'm just being honest. I thought I was like, holy shit, this stuff is everywhere now. Like it's just gonna pass by and we'll be back to Bigfoot, you know. And like then it
Yeah.
became like right, everybody had a story, and I was like, wow, this is way more uh, a regular of occurrence than I thought it was gonna be. Uh,
Hmm.
I was like, damn, okay. And now we're here where we are, right? But now imagine somebody who has like an encounter with something with a frog head or whatever, right? Or
Hmm.
something they can't explain like that. Now, where do they fit in? Like, where do you come out and talk to about that? You know, who do you talk to about that?
Yeah. And all these goat men sightings. My goodness, there's goat men all over, especially Texas.
Yeah,
And I mean, I was sent a trail cam video of a goat man, like a still shot.
yeah.
And
If I was gonna be, if I
yeah,
was gonna be that, that's where I would be. I would be in like Utah or Texas or right, like,
this one was down in Florida, I believe. So
oh
I don't
shit,
know. I mean, they're all over the
yeah,
place.
possible.
They're everywhere. I mean, where did the veil go, Mike? Didn't we used to have a veil that was thinning, and now we
Yeah,
don't have one anymore?
I don't know. I used to hear people say that the veil was thinning, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know if it is or we're just like, there's just so many people out here that are just advancing, and you know, I guess it is, right? I guess you're right. It is just, in a sense, it is almost gone, right?
I think there are a lot of people expanding their consciousnesses. I guess that's the word. Like the consciousness is expanding. Hey, Steve.
Oh, Donnie is
And
in Florida. Shit, my
yeah,
bad.
he's down in Florida, I think. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
because my buddy Jeff is one of his best friends, and
Oh, yeah, I thought he
he's
was
got a
in.
corner. Yeah, he's got a corner at they call it Jeff's corner down there at his property.
My bad. My
Yeah,
bad.
I think it's Florida.
Yeah,
It's not. I think it's like on the side of it where Alabama is, though. I think you're close.
Mike and Justin need
Jane,
to show together. Yeah, maybe one day.
maybe one day. We do have fun talking together for sure.
Shooting the shooting the
Sheep
sheep.
squatch,
Shoot,
shooting the
who
sheep squatch together.
sheep squatch put, you know, he's got hooves on the ground.
Hooves on the ground.
That was
That
like the best when you were doing the goat man. You were doing a goat man show with someone, and
it
I
was
put
Jason McLean.
normally I put like a hashtag boots on the ground or whatever, and then like that day I put like I wrote hooves on the ground, and I felt bad because you actually like bursted out laughing. Like I saw when you saw
I
it.
totally did. I
Yeah,
couldn't
it's
help it.
so funny.
It was super funny. Yeah, and I just wanted to be like bah or something. Like it was just funny. I felt like making a goat noise. I don't know why. It was that show. I had to hold back from that. Actually, that was on Space Out Radio.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, right. Gotcha. Yeah.
Jason and
Yeah.
I were having a good time with that one.
Well, you have like you're very your show is very organized and like you do thorough work. You know, like I come up here and I'm just like I had a thought a minute ago when I wanted to go live and talk about it. And, like I'm so underprepared and unorganized and like just a space cadet. It works for me though. You know.
Well, well, I have a little structure to my shows. That's all. You know, I started off doing. I mean, I just started off doing shows like trial by fire, I guess. Like when I was asked to do a show over at KGRA Digital Broadcasting, and I just kind of kept like the same organization from like that show from like a while back, and I brought it forward to here, and so it's just kind of evolved. So I do have organization in my shows, but I try to put out like good content that people are like it involves not only like really good guests that I bring on with like really good research, but incorporate my research and what I know into it as well. So like it makes for a really good conversation with people, I think.
Well,
Um,
yeah, you leave a lot of things. I mean, you make people better, right? Like
oh,
you
thank
do,
you.
you do, and that's what like I always know the strong people, like by the people who help and build others up. And I just said this yesterday too. Like I can always tell because if somebody comes to me trying to tear people down or like you hear about this and this and this and this, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to know. You know, like is it good news? Is it something cool? Like was it something positive? Like I'm just so over that
Yeah.
kind of crap. And like you're definitely always trying to like just move everybody forward, and
Mhm.
I like that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's my goal. I just want to put information out there, and I ain't got time for all the other stuff. I'm just trying to keep things positive, and
Mhm.
you know, I mean, I'm trying to uncover all these mysteries too. Like I don't know a whole lot about a lot of this stuff. I don't claim to know anything actually, but I do like talking about it and exchanging ideas with people, and I don't know. I just want to. I want to see what's real and what's not, and just explore stuff. I'd rather know
Yeah,
now than like when I'm old or
a lot of
something.
people act crazy about it. Like, oh, that's bullshit out there, da, da, da. And it's like this is what science is in a nutshell, right? It's experimenting. So like
Yeah,
that's how you get to conclusions is you experiment and you try different shit from different ways and you know what I mean?
yeah.
Thinking outside the box and like
I take.
forming data, and the more data the better, right? Like if you just keep scientists don't do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over, and over, you know what I mean? Unless it works.
Yeah. I mean, I take a very unconventional approach because that's what my entire team does. I mean, last night on Space Out Radio, I had Trey Hudson on my show. He's the head of one of my research teams. I'm on 3 different field research teams. And he's on the one that's public, the one that we talk about our research. It's called Anomalous Studies and Observation Group. We do the Meadow project. That's what we work on
Mhm.
mostly.
Yeah, I heard
And
that last night.
he just retired with the Department of Defense, and he spent time in Afghanistan overseas too, Mike.
I seen the
And so
thing behind him. I did, yeah.
yeah, well,
I seen the
he's a little
flag
bit older
behind
than
him.
us, just a
Yeah.
little bit.
Well, he's
Um,
got a couple of coins I seen. I
well,
know what to look for. Yeah, it's cool.
yeah, well, he just retired like a month or two ago from the Department of Defense, and the guys that I'm out there in the woods with, these are like not just your everyday folks. Like I mean, for a guy with the DOD and all these special forces military guys and stuff that I'm out there with, there's something to it. Okay, if they're as curious as just your average Joe, like myself out there, about Bigfoot and portals and Dogman and all this other stuff. Um, thank you, Val. Yes, Trey was a great guest last night. He was a great guest. It's fun. It's really cool to like be able to connect with people on my shows that like I have a connection with, like that. I was afraid he was going to give some of my secrets away or something, like tell people that I snore in my camp or something. I don't know. So
Well, he was
I had to
great.
watch that.
Yeah, he was awesome.
He was good. Thank
He
you.
was really great. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was great.
It was fun. Well, we talked about remote viewing last night, and that's when I say unconventional stuff, I'm referring to things like that because our whole team on another team, not just Trey's team, but another team that he and I are both on, we do remote viewing, and so yeah, that's it's something that our military uses. Okay, and so
Yeah,
that's the way I was trained, coordinate remote viewing, and other modes. So we're able to see things that most people can't. Okay, or don't. Not that they can't. If they learned how to do this, they could do it too. But we're able to look into stuff a little bit differently, like than just the 3D experience that we have right here in this little matrix reality. We get outside the box, like way outside the box, with our research. So
yeah, it
yeah.
intrigues me too. Well, I'm sorry if I skipped over it. I'm gonna go back to Shannon's thing. Judy, I've read about some Native Americans have told little people.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of military vets are curious about these. Yeah, that's me for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah. I
kind of
just,
gave me I was in my personal experience, I was so like lost in the sauce and like just hopeless, right? And I was like healing, and I just didn't know what was out there for me. I like literally was just like this, like there's no avenue out there that I give a shit about. You know what I mean? I really just don't.
yeah.
And then when I stepped into that woods that day and bumped into him, and like it was just like okay, like and mind you, I had like family and things to look forward to on that level, but like on a personal level, like for me, I just had no interest in anything at that point. So that kind of like sparked and opened it up this whole new avenue of like exciting things and possibilities. And I was somebody who always said like there's got to be something out there, like there's got to be. There's just got to be something else, and that's what I
Yeah.
always said. I was like, "There's got to be something else."
Oh yeah. I said the same. I said the same thing too. There's got to be more out there, especially after the things that I had experienced personally, like seeing ghosts. I mean, I was like, there's so much more out there. If I'm experiencing this and this is real, then more is real. There's more out there for sure. And I made it my mission to go find out. I think I've done a good job.
I think so too. Absolutely.
Thank
Shannon,
you.
I've seen some of the stuff you're dealing with, and I know, I've learned that there's so much stuff out there that you can't always just you can't lump it into a category, right? Like, you just can't. And then the more you look at things too, like, the more you really look at it, sometimes the initial reaction of seeing things is the answer, and then sometimes it like takes a while to like really break it down and, break away from what your initial reaction was. But regardless, you do definitely have a lot of things happening, and it's pretty cool. So
yeah,
a lot of people are experiencing a lot of things now, and it's very interesting. I had 2 remote viewers on my unit. Okay, see,
oh yeah,
there's
military,
confirmation.
right?
Similar, yeah.
Working in the government for sure. Yeah, I you know what? I might need to put in an application and go get me a job doing some remote viewing somewhere. Anybody got any connections? Y'all let me know. I bet I could make a good bit of money doing some remote viewing. I bet.
I don't know.
I've been doing it long enough.
The government has a way of making you not make anything.
Oh, I don't want to work for the government. I'd work somewhere else. No, I don't want to work for the government. Shit. Does anybody need a personal remote viewer? I'm for hire. I'm just kidding. I don't even offer services for that actually, because it is very intrusive, and so I mean, I don't do it for hire at all. I do read tarot cards and stuff though. If
you know where that would go real fast, right? Like
it would go like cheating husbands and cheating wives.
Where's my
exactly. And I'd actually be kind of entertaining. I don't know. It'd be dangerous, man. I don't know. It'd be like a private investigator's office. Like I'd have to get like a PI license or something.
I always revert back to when it's literally what happened when 11 did it in Stranger Things. She was like, that dude Mike was lying to her about his grandma or some shit. So she went to the mall with the redheaded girl, Max, and then they came back and she's like, oh, just go check out where he is. Like, she's like, he's lying, look where he is or whatever. And then like she remote views them in his basement and they're like burping and farting and like and like it's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, a virtual Alice in Wonderland out there. I could dig it. Furthering my research on topic, I was a science student for a while. Working for that's cool. Wow, to an extent. James, Skype. See you, buddy. Remote view, lost treasure.
Lost treasures. Yeah, ooh. I've done that before. I've done it actually twice before.
Where is
Dog Man, UK man.
Where is it? Where is it?
Yeah, I have definitely remote viewed lost treasure before, but I didn't know that's what it was because I get blind targets. And it was a location where down in another country, let's just say, where some like coins and like buried treasures were, or some kind of Spanish coins or something. I don't know, but I located the area, and the guys actually went down there. And we're digging for these coins, and the map, I had actually like sketched out like a little map, and I put an X on it, not knowing what I was remote viewing, and it was actually right there. Like even all the landmarks that I had written down on the data, it was all there. Everything, even a dead horse or a dead cow or something, it was all there. So it was pretty impressive. I was like, man, maybe Susie B, that's a good idea actually, that we put up there. I can make some money doing that.
Some money.
Just give me half, or not half. I take 25%, whatever y'all find. Or half if you want to give it to me. I'll take that too.
So annoying.
Spanish coins.
Oh, there it goes. All right. So we're gonna wrap up in 5, guys. So if you have any questions for her, please.
I was gonna say Susie and I could go half and half. Look, I'll do the remote viewing. You bring your metal detector. We'll find some coins.
Yeah, I got a magnet. I can't find it though. I have a.
Oh my gosh.
When I brought my son to the Bronx Zoo, we're going over the I forget what bridge it is. I think it's like whatever. But anyway, the city's right next to us for the most part, and he's like, it's a huge bridge, and he's like, hey, Dad, imagine magnet fishing off of here.
Magnet fishing?
Yeah, off like the Trogsneck Bridge or like the George Washington or something.
You're gonna have to have some long fishing line, very long.
Well, magnet
yes, metal
fishing is
detectors.
like he remembers too, because like we've done it a few times in different places. A couple times we've done it off bridges, but the police were called into one place. Like if they had an event, right? The detectives and all this stuff, an event, and this high-ranking guy, like whatever from whatever office, dropped his keys in the sewer. So there was a guy who had like a sewer opener in his truck, which was weird enough. But he's like, "Oh, I could get it open, but I don't know how we're gonna get out." And I'm like, I look over and I'm like, I can get it. They were like, "Oh, well," they're like, "We're gonna have to call the fire department and this and that." And like, there's like all these people standing around that don't know how to do it. And I'm like, give me a second.
You've got a magnet on your
So
fishing line.
I go and get my laser and I shine it down there, and I'm like, all right, there they are. I'm like, I know where I gotta hit it. I go, and then I get the magnet, and I just drop it down like 30 feet, and I hit, and it's this huge magnet that like sucks up, like it could pull a bike out of a river. You know what I mean? So like,
oh my gosh,
yeah, a lot of the guys who do it, they'll find, or girls, like anybody could do it, right? They find guns, like, and then like, you know, people throw
using
guns crimes, and then they got so the most recently sketchy thing that somebody found was chain around a body.
Oh,
and they didn't know what it was, and so it was a mess.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was a mess. It ended up being an animal, which to me is even sadder.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Golly, people do weird stuff. Never underestimate weird human behavior. That's even in the woods, y'all. Okay, anybody watching today? A lot of the stuff that we encounter out in the woods, I'm always saying, I tell people, I'm like, never underestimate, because this is what the head of my team, one of my teams used to say, never underestimate the power of a bored camper or a drunk camper or bored like Boy Scouts, because they'll make like tree structures and stuff sometimes out in the woods. So never underestimate a weird human. Okay. Sharon, I do actually. Yeah, that was part of that data. There was something out there else. It wasn't just her. So I hate that. It was bad. Very sad.
Yes, a lot of fishing lures for sure.
Fishing lures?
Yeah, you find a lot with magnet fishing.
With magnets.
One of the main things you find. It's fishing for trash for the most part.
You're just fishing for cans?
Yeah, it's not like people throw their, necklaces and their,
You're looking for like a gold necklace. I mean, wait, does silver and gold, are they even magnetized? Can you even get anything like with that? Because
well, the metal detecting has like certain, like the good ones anyway. Like when you're metal detecting, like it has like different ratings. It tells you if it's like nickel or like copper and like, or gold or silver and stuff. So it's kind of tough.
Yeah,
you kind of got
interesting. I don't know. I'd like to go metal detecting on a beach. I've lost so much stuff. Like I'm sure the karma's got to come back around at some point. It's got to come back to me in some form. I need to go metal detecting. I lost jewelry and whatever. Ooh, Danny. Oh my gosh. Are you going to read that one out loud?
The worst. I thought it was a shoe. Unfortunately, there was a foot in it. Spent the day with the cops caught on camera.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, that's shitty.
Dan, that's terrible. I had a foot in it.
The smell of the feet was in the air.
Ew. Wasn't you named a stinky feet?
The smell of the foot.
Yikes.
Silver and gold don't stick to a magnet. No, right. But the metal detector picks them up, which is good. But yeah, it's a pain in the ass. And then you got to get the carrot and stick it in when you pull it up, and you got to have the scooper. You don't have to have it all, but I go out with this guy who's like a pro, and his thing is sick, and then like his detector is like sick, and then mine is off like Wish from like 5 years ago. So,
he's a pro magnet fisher. I've never even heard of this before.
He's like a pro like metal detector.
Okay.
But
That's fun.
again, like it's a hobby, right? I'm just
It is a hobby.
it's a hobby.
I get a little jealous sometimes when I see people out on the beach and they're like
Like
got their metal detectors
everybody
out.
talks to him. Like when we were out there, like everybody was talking to him, and I'm like, I don't. They're asking me questions. I'm like, I don't. I'm like, I don't even know if this thing works. You know, I'm like, it's just beeping. I'm like, I think it just beeps because it's like it's a piece of garbage. It's just not good. I don't even know if I have it anymore. I can learn a bunch from Jessica on doing shows and do shows together. He's driving it home.
I'll teach you. You're gonna learn today. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll learn you.
Mike, I'll teach you whatever I know. You know more than I do, probably. So
no.
Oh yeah.
Not when it comes to this shit.
No, I just put shows together. That's what I do.
I know nothing. I was like ask you. It's just easier that way. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, Judy, that's terrible.
Judy, I'm
that's
like
terrible.
laughing while this is highlighted. Damn it, that's horrible.
We're terrible.
Sorry, Judy. Oh,
you probably put it out of your memory because it was so traumatic. That's terrible.
Yeah, that's the key to success when it comes to trauma.
It is bad. Actually, the first couple of like high priority remote viewing targets I got, like I tell everybody, they're always blind. I get a set of numbers, and the first one ever was actually a person who was missing, and I located I found it was a person, and he had been killed and was thrown in a lake where I used to go swimming all the time. Okay. Like I will not swim in Lake Lanier in Georgia ever again. I found 2 bodies through remote viewing there. Okay. In that lake, people dump bodies in there. Like you guys would not. I mean, if that was 2 of my targets out of all of them that I've had, like, come on, there's so much going on out there. So just be wary of these big old lakes we go swimming in, everybody. If y'all go swimming in lakes, there's a lot down there. So yeah, it's kind of gross. Sorry.
Hey.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, stop. He's trying to
That's terrible, Judy.
He's trying to knock the phone off the thing. Stop.
Aw.
What are you doing? You want to eat. That's what you want. You want to eat again, right? You're a moose.
Oh my gosh. Judy, I'm sorry you had to experience that. That's terrible. I'm glad you found it though. I'm sure it brought the family some closure.
Yeah, well, it is. It's a shitty situation, but there is good in it. That's for sure.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like with finding the stuff when I'm remote viewing, it's like it sucks for me, like getting those kind of targets, but it gives me some closure, like not closure for me, but it gives me, and I don't want to say satisfaction because that sounds weird, but just peace, I guess, like in knowing that it will help a family, find whoever their loved one is. Okay. And so kind of gives an idea of like what happened to them and where they are. So yeah, there's a good in everything. I try to see the good in everything. What's wrong, Mike? Is your dog over there? Is that your dog? Oh,
I'm trying to ignore him. It's not working. He's like,
that's adorable.
He's ramming me back. He just keeps coming by and ramming me, and then he literally tried to knock the phone off the table.
He's smart.
He is.
I've got my dog right here beside me on the floor.
He knows
She's
that's
a big old German Shepherd.
His nose it's all the way up on a ring light. His nose got so close to it, and he's trying to hit it off. He's like, Dad, it's time. I need to go out. I got to go hunt for possums. He already ate today, so that's all he wants. Because I have special treats for him. Like I have these big chickens, like this. I got him chicken, and that's what he wants. He wants more. You know what? I started feeding my dog hot dogs. Yeah, I know they're probably not for human consumption actually at this point. Yeah, after I've been hearing about what all's in those things, but you can get them for cheap. They're cheaper than dog treats. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I do. I freeze them. I freeze hot dogs and then I give them to them. Yeah. I just give like chunks of hot dogs. That's her favorite thing. And by the way, she is the award-winning chipmunk hunter. Okay, everybody in the chat. We're all talking about what our dogs like to hunt and go after. My dog chases chipmunks. She's a pro at it. Sometimes I get a little gift on the back porch, occasionally. A chipmunk? A trophy. Yeah. Those can't be easy to catch.
Oh, she's good. She's really good at it.
You can remote view me. I'm boring.
I'm boring. I don't. I don't like remote viewing people if I don't have to because it's
Yeah.
weird. I don't want to know. Thanks. Thanks, but no thanks, Double D. That's very sweet of you.
Oh, Air Force. Nice. Thank you for your service.
Nice. Thank you for your service.
My
Yeah,
dog's
everybody in the
spoiled.
just watching, thank you for your service. That's in the military or
My dog.
formerly.
My dog hunts me for dead chicken. What do you want?
Hey, I can't believe my dog hasn't perked up for me saying hot dogs. Actually, I took my dog down to the farm yesterday. We have a lake out there, and she went swimming. I put her there's a video of her swimming on my Instagram. I had to post something. She's so cute. Big old German Shepherd swimming in our lake, and her little legs are just like, oh, it's so cute. It's so cute. But yeah, that's on my Instagram page, my stories. Yeah, we love our dogs, man. But yeah, my dog is exhausted today because she was out swimming and running around the farm yesterday. So I say hot dog, and she's not even lifting her head. She has not lifted her head one time. So that's how I know she's tired. What is Mike doing?
Sorry, I got tired of him just harassing me. So I just
I'll hold it down. Don't worry.
Gave him like half a chicken, so it should keep him busy for like a minute. Yes, thank you for your service. I'm sorry about that. That was super distracting for like a while.
Oh my God, Roger, you must have like a Presa Canario or something.
There's a video I was just watching, and this black bear is on the fence, and like there's like a guy, and he's like a bodybuilder, and like he's just standing there, and he looks like huge too. And like the bear's on the fence, and that guy's there, and I'm like, what is this video? I'm like, is this guy gonna like fight the bear? And then all of a sudden you realize there's like a dog this big on the bottom of the fence, like like barking at the bear, and the bear is looking down at it like. I'm like, oh, this dog's. I'm like, I hope this doesn't go that way.
Oh my God, the little dogs are the most courageous, or not the smartest. I don't know. They yeah. I don't think big dogs ever come at me, but little dogs have. Like, yeah, it's just the way they do.
For sure.
That's why I have big dogs. I've always had big dogs.
Our dog wants to eat everything we do. She loves popcorn. See, he's like
popcorn.
He's a jerk. Like, if he won't take like a hamburger because he doesn't want the bread. You know what I mean? Like, he wants the meat part of everything. Like,
oh yeah.
He's literally chewing down.
Keto. He's on that keto diet.
Atkins, remember that one?
Yes, our dogs are smart like that. Like my dog Zoe, she's passed away now, but she would never she knew what you were feeding her, and she would, if you tried to give her something other than what she wanted, she would look at you like, "Are you crazy?"
Yeah, that's how he is. Like you got, and it's nuts. Like if you give him something that's not what he wants, like he will just literally just keep staring at you, and it's nuts.
You should see me try to give my dog her flea treatments and stuff. It's like those big pills. You have to like hide them and stuff.
They know
have to like break it
there.
into 4 pieces because it's so big.
Yeah,
and
they know.
It smells bad. So cheese, peanut butter, whatever.
Whatever you can.
She knows.
They know.
I have to force it down her throat. I hate to say that, but I do. Like, you have to like open up their mouth and make them like rub their neck. Yeah, that's what I have to do with her because she's too smart. Yeah.
They know
she gets her treatment, so I tell you what.
It's good. Yeah, they're so much better than the ones I use. Like I put the ones that go on like the skin, but
squirrel dog.
The flea and tick stuff that goes on the skin. I heard the pills work a lot better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the pills do. Oh my gosh, Sharon.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
5:14 this morning. Honest to God, I used to know somebody that like I was in school with, and he used to call him in all the time just so we'd get out of school.
Wow. Yeah, at least it was before school started, and so the kids are not in school, I guess.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. At 5:14, that's good, yeah. Yeah, he used to do it. Yeah. I swear to God, this guy used to do it like I knew I'd go right to him, like the next day I'd be like, "Did you?" And he'd be like, "Yeah."
And then he never got in trouble, huh?
No.
Well,
No,
that was before
there
they
was
had
no
like
way. There was
tracking
no
on
way
our
to
phones,
track it
maybe.
back then. Yeah, like
I mean,
back.
I remember we could do like star 69 or something, or there's some kind of like star like combination, and it would like block a number,
But if you called from a payphone, like
or you
you
could
could do
block your
anything.
number.
Yeah, if you called from a payphone, that's why there's no more left because you can't trace them. Or even if you do, you trace it to a place and the person's gone, right? Nobody
Yeah.
put the camera on a payphone. Like,
Yeah. I think of all the kids. I'm not saying I ever did it, but when, high
yeah,
schoolers not going where they say they're going to go and calling mom from a payphone saying they're at so and so's house.
yeah.
It was on a payphone. So,
Hmm.
yeah, those are the days. I never did that.
Well, we used to call when we wanted to get picked up, like we spent all our money. We would call like our parents and be like, we would call collect, and then just be like, "You have a call from," and instead of saying your name, you just like really quick say where you were, like, "I'm at the spot by the mall," like.
Yeah. Those are the good old days, man. Good old days before we were tracked everywhere we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
We
yeah.
were living on the edge.
Yeah.
It's a miracle that I'm here today after all those shenanigans
Derek,
back in the day, probably.
Derek had some zingers last night. What's he saying?
He
Hey
suggests
everyone.
that, yeah.
Go ahead.
You want me to read it? He
Yeah.
said he suggests looking up breaking news out of Michigan and the attorney general there. Yes.
Okay.
I'll look it up after the show. Sounds interesting.
You all right?
Oh, are you looking it up now? Or are you talking to
No,
your dog?
no, I'm looking
Okay.
at him and his bad legs. I'm gonna go get on. I'm gonna get on another show after this. So unfortunately, I do want to jump in there and meet this guy. I don't know if you know him, Carter Burchard.
Yeah, I know Carl. Well, I've not had him on a show yet, but he goes on Space Out Radio with Dave a lot.
All right. Yeah, I haven't had
Yeah,
the
we're
chance to
friends
meet
on
him yet.
Facebook.
Yeah, me too. But
Yeah.
he's on Pork and Beans, and I'm like an admin over there on Facebook. So
Oh, love pork and beans.
yeah, you should go
That's
on.
awesome.
There's so
I've
much
been
to
on
talk.
there.
Oh,
You mean like? Oh, I mean, I've been on there as a guest. I'll go over there and hang
yeah,
out.
that's what I meant. Yeah,
It's like I've been on that show.
yeah.
I know them.
Old news.
Yes. I'll come over there and hang out. I got to go pick up my son from school here in just a little bit.
Yeah,
Speaking of schools.
I was trying to take the hit
Yeah.
without saying your personal business, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, he should be riding the bus, but the bus driver decided on the first day of school to drop him off at the wrong school. So it caused trauma, and now I have to drive him and pick him up every day.
Well,
So
they did. Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it happened. We've discussed it, but
all right.
So yeah, I was trying to avoid having to take him to school every day, but here we are.
My oldest gets driven back and forth too, so
Yeah, it's okay.
yeah, no biggie. Don't even
It's
look
not
at
a
me.
big deal.
All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you all for being here. Jessica, thank you for being here. I know we probably bounced around quite a bit, but that's kind of how it goes here.
That's my style too. Go with the flow.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming by and hanging out and kind of giving a little insight. And I want, like I said in the beginning, I just kind of wanted to get your take on a few things out there. And there's still, I gotta get with you about the Council Rock mini doc. I want to get like maybe you to do a little like voice in thing.
Okay.
I want to get your take and whatever you want to say about it, and then put it in there. So I want to get it from you and Brian and DHP. I don't know if I'll be able to get Jonathan, but we'll see.
Yeah, I got Jonathan's number. You can get in touch with him. Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I wonder what he's doing these days. I need to contact him anyways, send him some pictures from the trip. So
I sent him something yesterday. Oh, I sent him it was a link to something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
heck yeah. Yeah, I would be glad to, actually.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I'm always down to hang out with you, Mike, and do whatever. Do these shows and do some work together. Whatever you like, because you're awesome.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
And everybody in here, you guys are amazing. Thank you all for being here. We are gonna start morning shows again. I still don't know what time it's gonna be at and what how many days a week. But still working that out. If you guys want to go on the community tab, and it's probably a ways back by now. Maybe I'll bring it back to the top, one way or another. But
those are the best. Please keep doing those. Those are fun. I try to catch them every time I can.
You too, Sharon. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, it's extending. Yeah. Oh, it goes around the back.
Oh yeah. Hey, at my son's school, they have like cross guards at every single intersection. They keep that traffic moving, dude. Like it's wild. I can't even believe it. It's so cool. Yeah. So
cool.
we're blessed over here where I live. But yeah, great
What
show
you got
today.
coming up? You got anything coming up?
Well, let's see. I got shows this week. Okay, I have Mike Bluler coming on
Oh, okay,
on
good.
Wednesday. Okay,
Nice.
on my daytime show. So you guys please come hang out with us.
That's Red Creek.
Yeah, this Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be talking about his Bigfoot experience, that encounter that he had, and probably some other stuff too. And then Thursday, I have Sean Bond from our trip is actually going to be on my Thursday night show. Yeah,
Cool.
so he's a remote viewer too. So I do a remote viewing show. We're going to be remote viewing a cryptid of some sort. I don't know what it is yet, but we're remote viewing something. We're going to have a really fun show on Thursday night on my channel, the Cryptid Huntress. Now I'm off this weekend at Spaced Out Radio. It is, I believe, this is Labor Day weekend, and
is
so
it? Or is it next? Yeah, it is.
I don't know. Is it this weekend? I think it's this weekend.
I don't know.
I think it's this coming weekend.
All right, you know better than me.
I don't know. I don't know nothing. Okay, yeah, it's the 28th, so it's this weekend. So I'm probably going to do a show, at least a show or a couple of shows. Since I'm not going to be on Space Out Radio, I'm going to do a show on my channel this weekend. So you guys tune into the Cryptid Huntress, either 9 or 10 o'clock p.m. Probably Saturday night, maybe Sunday too. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how saucy I'm feeling.
Yeah, we'll spread the word.
We're gonna put out. We'll probably do like a dog man special or something. We'll see.
I think that's good.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. I've got a lot of good guests to bring on, so we might do some kind of super awesome show, and especially since After Hours is not going to be airing this weekend, and Dave's off all week at Space Out Radio. My show won't be on air at Space Out Radio, so why not do something fun on my channel? I'm not going anywhere for the holiday, so yeah, we'll see.
Everyone needs a break.
Yeah, maybe you'll come join me over there this weekend.
I'll be there. Yeah,
if you're not busy, okay.
Awesome. I already know I'm not. I don't do anything.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's going to be a great weekend, and thank you for having me here. And I can't think of anything else I have planned. I'm going to be at the Molina Bigfoot Festival in November, and I'm going to be doing a bunch of field research the next month or two with my team. But yeah, same old, same old. So thanks everybody for being here, and thank you for having me today. He's in a tanning bed. Oh my God, who's that, Derek?
All right. Thank you all so much for being here. We'll leave off on that note, Derek. All right. Thank you, Jessica. I appreciate you being here. Thank you all for being here, and I'll see you next time.
Bye. Thank you.